This 22-year-old trash PC was born in the era of Windows XP. Powered by an ancient Pentium 4 processor, its golden age ended a long time ago. But today, instead of installing outdated Windows XP on this machine, I'm going to try something way stranger. ReactOS, an open source OS. It looks like Windows, it acts like Windows, but it is not Windows at all. Sounds pretty weird, right? So today, I want to find out how ReactOS actually performs. Can it bring a fun and usable experience to this 22-year-old piece of tech? Or will it just make everything even more useless?
Okay, let's go.
And this is the PC I'll be using for today's experiment. A Fujitsu with a pretty mouthful of a name, the FMV Deskpower CE70G7. Just taking a look at those Pentium 4 and Windows XP stickers on the front panel, you can probably guess which era this thing belongs to. It was released all the way back in 2004. I honestly have no idea what this machine went through over the past 22 years, but time clearly wasn't very gentle with it. The front panel is completely detached, and the chassis is covered in scratches. Under the hood, we have an Intel Pentium 4 Northwood processor clocked at 2.8 GHz, one of the most iconic chips of the Windows XP era. It comes with two 256 megabytes DDR RAM sticks, totaling a mere 512 megabytes. Oh yeah, this is DDR1 RAM, something quite rare these days. On top of that, we have an IDE HDD. In an era where even SATA 3 is sometimes considered slow, this drive is a literal relic. With specs like these, finding a suitable modern operating system is pretty tough. In the previous video, I tried Haiku, a remarkably lightweight and interesting OS for old hardware. But today, I have something equally bizarre, ReactOS. So what exactly is ReactOS? It's a free, open source OS designed to be compatible with Windows software and drivers. It's not Linux disguised as Windows, nor does it use Microsoft's source code. It was written completely from scratch. ReactOS specifically targets compatibility with Windows XP and Windows Server 2003. The project actually started back in 1996, but even today, it's still sitting in its alpha stage. And that's what makes me so curious. How will an ultra lightweight OS like this actually perform on an authentic Windows XP era PC? Alright, enough theory. I'm downloading ReactOS 0.4.15, the version they call the latest and greatest. Oh, and they're still asking for donations to push ReactOS into beta. Looks like there's still a pretty long road ahead. Even though this OS has been around for 30 years, this is actually my very first time installing it. So if I do anything a bit dumb along the way, well, now you know why. Alright, the bootable USB drive is set. Let's plug it into this old Fujitsu and see what happens. Wait a second, I can't press the power button. It's completely vanished. Well, only one way to do this. Nice, it powers on. Let's select boot from USB. While we wait for the system to boot up, I'll snap this front panel back on so the PC doesn't look so hollow. There we go, doesn't look half bad. But man, this is taking forever. It's still not booting into the installer. Well, after a painful 20-minute wait, Grandpa Fujitsu finally made it to the ReactOS setup. A classic 90s style blue screen interface. Select the language and hit enter to continue. The hard drive is completely blank right now, so I'll create a new partition and format it. Alright, the installation is finally starting. This time is actually pretty fast. And done. Now we just wait for the system to reboot. Here it is, the ReactOS logo has popped up. Everything seems fine. Wait, what on earth? Holy shit. BSOD. ReactOS just slapped me with a blue screen of death on the very first boot. I have no idea what caused it. Maybe ReactOS just straight up dislikes something about this Fujitsu's hardware. Man, this guy is picky. So I tried rebooting one more time, but this time I selected debug mode instead of the normal boot.
Hold on a second.
Oh, it worked! For whatever reason, normal mode instantly gave me a BSOD, but debug mode actually worked. We can finally move forward with the setup. The rest of the steps are pretty basic, mostly just clicking next, next, and next, and done! The system is going to reboot one more time. Having learned from experience, this time I selected debug mode right at startup to avoid that blue screen again. Here we go, we're finally on the desktop. The first thing that greets me is the video device driver installation wizard. Unsurprisingly, the installation failed. Other drivers couldn't be installed either, not even the Ethernet controller. I couldn't install anything popping up in this window because there's no internet connection and nothing stored locally here. So I'll have to install them manually, but that's for later. Anyway, ReactOS is working. Let's take a look around and see what we have here. Everything looks strangely familiar, doesn't it? This UI is ridiculously similar to Windows 2000 or Windows XP Classic. We've got the gray taskbar, the classic start button, and even the right-click menu and system fonts are straight out of that Windows era. The icons look slightly different, but names like My Computer, My Documents, My Network Places, and Recycle Bin are unmistakably familiar. If I didn't look closely, I could completely mistake this for some version of Windows XP. We also have Task Manager. Wow, this OS is really lightweight. RAM usage is sitting at just 130 megabytes, and the CPU is barely breaking a sweat with only 18 background processes running. Even Haiku in my previous video took up over 300 megabytes of RAM, and it's quite similar to Anti-X Linux, which I tested a while back. Everything in the start menu looks exactly like Windows. We've got programs, accessories, device manager, and even the control panel. Right here is the calculator. Yeah, just your basic calculator. There's command prompt, still that familiar command line window with the black background. We also have Notepad, Paint, and WordPad. All of these apps belong to Windows and they function the exact same way. They even included Solitaire and WineMine. Basically, zero difference. I honestly don't know if ReactOS truly coded all of this from scratch because it feels 99% identical to Windows XP. Pretty cool. Pressing Windows plus R immediately opens the Run dialog. Alright, let's try running DXDIAG. Oh, it actually opens the diagnostic tool. But here's a twist, instead of DirectX like on Windows, here it's ReactX. Haha, that's really interesting. It shows ReactOS 32-bit on our Fujitsu machine running a Pentium 4 CPU at 2.8 GHz with 500 megabytes of RAM, and ReactX version 9.0C. Switching over to the display tab, yep, we don't have graphics drivers yet, and the resolution is currently 800 by 600. When I drag this window around, everything stutters quite annoyingly. Alright, it's time to install the necessary drivers to get everything up and running. I've got the driver ready on this USB drive. Now let's just hope ReactOS actually recognizes it. Nice, the USB drive works. Let me try running the network driver installer. Nope, that didn't work. So I switched to installing it manually through Device Manager. Oh sweet, ReactOS picked up the Ethernet card. Let's try opening the browser and testing it out. Google won't load because this browser is way too outdated, but luckily the ReactOS homepage loads fine. So the internet is now working on this machine. As for the graphics driver, I managed to install it, but weirdly enough, the screen is still as laggy as before. Rebooting didn't help either. It seems like ReactOS is not compatible with this driver. Alright then, at least we have working internet. ReactOS actually comes with its own applications manager, basically an app store for downloading software. Oh wow, there's quite a bit here, a total of 398 apps divided into plenty of categories. I'll try installing a different browser first. They've got both Firefox and Chrome in here. Firefox boots up, but almost every website throws an error or breaks completely. Looks like this version is way too outdated. Let's give Chrome a shot instead. Man, this download speed is painfully slow. Feels like I'm using the internet from 20 years ago. It finally ran, but Chrome is just as obsolete. I can't even get Google to load. Alright, let's just leave the browsers behind for now. After all, we still have nearly 400 apps left to mess around with. How about games though? Is there anything this Pentium 4 can actually run? Hey, they've got chicken invaders in here. Let me jump into this and blast some chickens. Pretty fun. There are a few other games that actually run pretty fine on this setup too. I can use emulators to play some lightweight retro titles. In the end, with this ancient CPU and a mere 500 megabytes of RAM, I really can't complain. So, can ReactOS save this 22-year-old trash PC? Not entirely. After nearly 30 years, ReactOS is still in alpha, loaded with bugs and compatibility issues, especially on ancient hardware like this. But at least it runs on this piece of junk, delivering some serious classic Windows nostalgia. Performance is far from perfect, but the whole process was way more fun than I expected. Know any other unique OSs? Let me know in the comments below.